This is Santo, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
This is the world famous cheeseburger, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast here on YouTube.
This is Bruno Bob Evans, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bullhead Brute, AJ Kazana, one half of the country gentleman from the National Wrestling Alliance, and you are watching the Alliance Guys here on YouTube.
Bah! 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 Hello, I'm Father Bah, and you're listening to the Alliance Guys podcast. Bah! Bah! Bah!
Hey, Chris, you made this debut.
Oh! Oh!
I'm Richard Holiday. That was my signature move, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast.
I'm building an alliance.
Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast.
Welcome welcome all to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J Cal. His name is Jaden. Oh, over here, Jaden. His name's DKM, and this guy over here is Professor Rick Del Santo. And gentlemen, welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast.
Greetings and salutations.
Love it.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hey, DK decided he would like to come back in a little bit. Apparently, his pizza rolls are dinged in the oven.
What a great dinner, though. Seriously.
DK, did you get pizza rolls? Is that where you went to?
I wish.
All right. And that's the type of analysis you can expect from one DKM. Again, this is the Alliance Guys podcast presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. Earlier this week, I spoke to Damian Fenrir. You could still listen to that in its entirety on our YouTube channel at the Alliance blog. Had a great conversation with the young up-and-comer. Think he's got a bright future, which is kind of a great segue for the show this week. We're going to be talking about who do we see being the future of the NWA that is currently in the NWA. I expect you all to have your pen and paper ready. We're going to be taking notes. We're going to be tallying up, and then at the end of the show, we will vote on who will be the face of the future for the NWA. Some of that is not true. Anyways, I want to see how you guys are doing. It's Thursday. Today was leg day at the gym for me, so I am exhausted. Rick, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Just took a nap right before showtime and woke up right in time. I didn't have to set an alarm.
That's always the best. When you can wake up
Yes.
without the alarm, I like that.
Yeah. So,
Jaden, how about
that's
yourself?
pretty
How
much
are you
it.
doing? Oh, sorry, Rick. Jaden,
Nope,
how are
that's
you
good,
doing?
bud.
I'm assuming I was waiting for anybody else to cut in.
You're good.
I'm a little annoyed. I had a business meeting that unfortunately got postponed because the person I had the business meeting with is no longer with the company.
Oh.
So, but hopefully it does work out. I sent the information to the president of the company, who might be taking over this situation. But it would have been something great. Dr. Zakarian and I were going to be on a Teams meeting to hype something big with Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator. So hopefully it still does come from fruition. It'll be a major accomplishment for a dog and a huge boost for the company. So it's something hopefully we'll hear soon. But of course, the person who was arranging it is no longer there. That just seems to be the luck. We've had a lot of bad luck in the month of July. We got screwed out of an event in Atlantic City. That's thanks to another party. We got the event in July 4th got canceled to extreme heat. The police department actually canceled it. So that kind of killed that momentum too. So hopefully, though, we got some things coming up. I'll talk about at the end of the event, at the end of the show. See, now I'm so used to saying event. Yeah, end of the show about what's coming on with Dog. And I also had a meeting, a little conversation today with the Chambers of Commerce of Little Lake Harbor, and we're ironing out the details we need for doing that. We're doing a fair for them in October, so we're ironing out the details on that today to make things that they need and sending them what they needed to make sure it was done.
That sounds good. DK, you had an interesting week. You were out there cutting ribbons. How was your week?
Well, we did the chamber ribbon cutting event, so that was nice, and actually got a couple leads off of it. I'm probably going to have to cancel my August event because of some issues, but we're hoping to have a big event in October.
That's I think it's kind of interesting. If you guys are tuning into the Alliance Guys podcast for the very first time, thank you for joining us. What you don't know is that DKM is part of the Iconic Heroes of Wrestling Excellence, and he's been actually running the promotion since I think May, right? I'm going to say May, maybe it's even longer than that. And DK had his first event back in May, and it was it was his first full-fledged event that he ran. So kudos to him. You can see the footage on his YouTube page of the Iconic Heroes Wrestling Excellence. We'll put a link in the chat later. And then for those of you, again, who don't know, Jaden is part of the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or DOG, as he helps promote the event with Dr. Lawrence Zirconium and the folks over there at DOG. He's been a part of that venture for quite some time. So when we have
16 glorious years.
How many?
16 glorious years.
That's amazing. So when we say that we have some insight into the business, it's not just hearsay. We have essentially a wrestling promoter, somebody who's been involved with every aspect of wrestling. Rick Del Santo is the professor of pro wrestling. He's been doing interviews and commentary at live wrestling shows for quite some time. And I've been covering the NWA extensively since about 2003. So I would say that you're not going to find any more inside information on the NWA than you will here, unless the NWA decides to start running their podcast again.
Don't forget, Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, South Jersey's #1 professional wrestling promotion, also is a former member of the NWA. And DK used to work for the NWA back when Tharp ran it.
That's right. He was our inside. He had people who know things. That's all. I don't know. I don't know a good segue to make that funny. Sorry. I'm trying to put in the YouTube chats. I'm putting links. If you guys don't know, Iconic Heroes of Wrestling Excellence, the YouTube channel. Of course, there's the DOG YouTube channel.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget that bell icon so you never miss an upload of either IHWE or Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators action. Do the same for Rick Del Santo's podcast and all the stuff that he does. And also make sure you do that here for the Alliance Guys podcast. And if we have any sponsors, make sure you visit those sponsors and tell them the Alliance Guys podcast, the Alliance Guys, the Alliance blog sent you.
Yeah, I think, Rick, that's your YouTube channel, right? Is at the Rick Del Santo. That's you.
Yeah, I'm about to put a link in the page as well.
I put yours in there.
If anybody wants to hear the golden voice, hold on. Oops, I messed up. Hold on. There we go.
You up.
I think we're allowed to swear here, no?
Yeah, but we do it too much. We do it too much. We lose, the monetization, and I have a tendency to slip. So I don't want to, ruin it if I don't have to.
I just put the Alley Fights link in the chat, and that is where I do commentary on a weekly basis.
So please like, comment, and subscribe to these channels. Of course, these are friends of the Alliance, and we do appreciate all the support that you guys have given us over the years, and hopefully you'll continue to give us over the years. Now, the other important piece of discussion we're going to have today is on pizza. I recently had Domino's pizza again for the first time in probably 20 years, and I was delighted at how tasty it was. And I had a coupon on my phone for Uber Eats, and I was like, okay, well, why the heck not? And it was so, like, I literally ordered it in the middle, like, it was like 10:30 at night, 11 p.m. at night, and I ordered the pizza, and it was fantastic. I can't lie. It was terrific. I loved it. And so out of the chains, the fast food chain pizza place, I think Domino's is my new favorite.
I do tend to agree, but here's also a thing. It's scientifically proven that the later at night you eat Domino's, the better it tastes.
I believe
Probably,
it, because
probably.
the next time I ordered it, it was still good, but it wasn't as good. And then the next time I ordered it, I didn't use Uber Eats. I ordered it through Domino's. And then the third time we went and picked it up, and it was less good. And it's like the more that I do for myself for this pizza, the worse it tastes. It's still good pizza, but I don't recommend it.
Domino's doesn't deliver to my house. I live too far across town. I have to go pick it up. So I'm very upset. Yeah.
You save money except for gas that way.
See,
exactly. But we got to get you to come out to the pizza capital of the world, New Haven, Connecticut, my hometown. That's what the guys say. And then that's my favorite pizzas. New Haven, Sally's of New Haven, Pepe's of New Haven, Modern, voted the best pizza in New Haven. So,
in fact, we got to also get you up to North Jersey, where the real king of pizza really is, and then not New York, not New Haven, Connecticut, definitely not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but North Jersey has the best pizza. And South Jersey's got good, but North Jersey has the best pizza. It's been voted multiple times. We also have been voted the best cheesesteaks, so screw you, Philly. We've been voted the best hoagie, which is, you guys would call it a sub or a submarine sandwich or something like that, a grinder maybe. We have the best soft pretzel, actually, in New Jersey, and we have the best bagel, so screw you, New York.
Number one, I am down for all the pizza that I could try. There was a quote from a movie, and I'm going to censor myself because of the forums that we're on, but pizza is like making love. There's no such thing as bad pizza. And I've had bad pizza, to be honest, but it was in in Orlando, Florida, where every single thing I ate was bland and tasteless. So yeah, I'm more than down to at some point go to North Jersey and try some of their pizza. I'm more than happy to visit my good friend Rick Del Santo and try some of his pizza. And I know, although he's being quiet right now, I know DKM has an affinity for the Chicago deep dish pizza.
I like that. I would definitely. There used to be a couple places here in Connecticut that were would serve Chicago style, and they were outstanding. I'm sure there are others. It's just I'd have to find them. I also like. I'm sure. Let's ask Jaden too. I really like a good Sicilian pizza as well. Jaden, what do you think about a Sicilian?
I like a good Sicilian. It depends, though. It really does depend. If they make it well. I especially love when the Sicilian's got the crusty, crunchy, chewy, ooey gooey outside of the crust, where it's like it's got that extra. It's like extra fried on the side. I love that personally. Yeah. Eyeball. A lot of eyeballs watching us today. Yeah, I very much love when it has like that burnt edges right around the edge of the pan where it touches the pan for the Sicilian. I've also had a hybrid Sicilian Chicago where it was a square pizza like a Sicilian. It was in a deep dish style pan that was like a Chicago style pan, where it was real deep and it had multiple layers like a Chicago style. But it was a hybrid of it, and that was it was basically pizza lasagna, and that was the absolute greatest thing I ever ate, and I felt like I was 95 pounds heavier after every slice.
Sounds like a fat kid's dream. I want it.
Oh, it was.
Two things. If you take a lasagna and another piece of lasagna and you put it on top of it, it becomes one lasagna.
Yes.
The other part is I want to go to the chat to talk about what they're thinking about pizza. And then this I'm throwing this out for everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
No.
Negative.
Nope.
DCAM might not be.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal. Should be. Should be considered a hate crime.
I hated it.
It is a hate crime.
I don't like pineapple on pizza. I don't normally like sweet and savory at the same time. I love pineapple. I love pizza. I just prefer them to be on different
separate.
Plates.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Domino's, you spoke about Domino's a little while ago. Have you tried the Philly cheesesteak pizza that they had?
Oh, it's an abortion. No, I shouldn't say that. It's an abomination.
Yeah.
I haven't had it. No.
Oh, we tried it a couple weeks back, probably about a month or so back, and I wouldn't consider it pizza, but it is, pretty tasty. I would definitely not put it in a pizza category, but it was something different, and it was actually kind of entertaining and a little tasty. I got a little stomach sick from it, though.
Let me finish off what the chat said about pineapple on pizza. So our friend Jane says, "Oh no, it shouldn't." Let's see. Polar Marky says, "Oh hell no."
Oh hell no!
Also followed it up with a federal offense. King Sean Mega says, "No to pineapple. That's a West Coast thing." Look, it might be a West Coast thing, but no one out here I know eats pineapple on pizza. And it's
actually invented in Canada. Figure that one out.
Yeah. Hey, sound off in the chat. For those of you who are watching on whatever platform you're watching on, do you put pineapple on your pizza? No judgment. We just Jane says pineapple is lovely. Okay.
Oh,
hey, wait a minute. Don't lie to them. There's going to be plenty of judgment.
Our pal Luthez says only with ham or bacon, and it must be caramelized to a degree. I mean, look, I'm not going to tell you what you like is wrong, just like with wrestling. I'm not going to tell you what you like is wrong. I'm just going to tell you what
I will tell you what you like is wrong.
I'm just going to tell you what I like. And to me, the perfect pizza is pepperoni and green bell peppers.
No.
That's all I want on my pizza.
What's everybody's favorite?
Unless it's a sauce, tomato.
What's everybody's favorite topping on a pizza?
Pepperoni and Italian sausage.
All right.
Okay. Fans?
I like a multi-meat pizza with pepperoni, sausage, ground beef, spicy sausage, of course. If you have it, bacon. I don't really like ham, so I don't put ham on pizza.
Okay.
But I do like a multi-meat pizza. It also has extra cheese, and if you could have multiple kinds of cheese, that would be great.
Okay.
Before you say yours, Rick, real quick, Wiccan says, nope, that's against the Geneva Convention as it pertains to pineapple. Jane says that her favorite pizza is pineapple, bacon, and cheese. Let's see. Luth said that he would only eat pineapple with ham or bacon on it. Okay. I think we're caught up on everybody's favorite. Oh, black olives. Jane, you and I don't have the same taste in pizza. You guys
put you put green peppers, mushrooms, and black olives on a pizza. It's like eating slugs and bugs.
There's nothing wrong with a perfect cheese pizza. That's my favorite. You get it from some place like Pepe's or something like Modern in New Haven, Abate's in New Haven. Actually, I'm going to probably name 50 New Haven places. Ernie's in New Haven. Zupardi's
Get some sponsorship here
in West Haven. So you don't need any other toppings. My guess is that if you get toppings on pizza, there's something wrong with the pizza. It's a perfect cheese pizza. Pizza's not supposed to come with all these different. It's an old school, Italian thing. The Italians just made regular cheese pizza. You know what I'm saying?
First of all,
I will tell you.
First of all, no, they ate real quick. They ate bread with tomatoes, basil, and some cheese on it. They didn't eat pizza in Italy. They ate tomatoes, basil, and some olive oil, and maybe some crushed garlic, and half of them didn't even include the cheese.
Yeah.
And that's what they consider pizza in Italy. Everything else is American. And American, more calories, the better.
Okay.
I will say that the first time I go to any pizza place, I'll order a plain cheese pizza.
Yes.
Because if you can't make a plain cheese pizza, I
Yeah.
ain't eating any of your other stuff.
100%.
Now, I do love a good cheese pizza.
Yeah.
In fact, I usually get extra cheese. Speaking of extra cheese, there is actually, if you ever come to Glassboro, New Jersey, there's a little place called Nick's, since we're mentioning pizza places, and I know Jay has been there. They have a lot of big things have happened in the NWA at that pizza place. A lot of decisions have been made, even less controversial ones, have been made at that facility for the National Wrestling Alliance back in the Lightning One era. No,
prior to the Lightning,
not Lightning One.
the Pro Wrestling
With the
Federation.
Yeah, the PWO era.
And I sat in that same booth that some of those NWA officials had sat in, and I had a slice of cheese pizza, and it was delicious.
Yeah, but that's the one to get at Nick's. You don't get anything on Nick's pizza except for extra cheese.
And then I want to go back to the chat here because we're still talking pizza. Lassie said that you can judge a pizza place by the regular. I think that's the same thing that DK said. If you just get a slice of cheese, you know whether or not they know what they're doing with pizza, and I think that's fair. But I like the pepperoni. That's, for me, the only time I ever eat pepperoni is when it's on a slice of pizza. I would never eat pepperoni otherwise. And bell peppers.
Pepperoni sandwich today.
How was it?
Yeah,
it was amazing.
I think that's an East Coast thing.
It's got to be. I mean, I got it from an Italian deli where I get a lot of my Italian cold cuts. So I know I'm talking about being Italian awfully a lot today, so I apologize. But it's like they serve it there. There's a lot of things. I get mortadella there and lots of type of cold cuts. But the Italian pepperoni sandwich is phenomenal. Put some fresh mozzarella on there and basil, and it's amazing. Put it on a slice of Italian bread. Yeah.
I have a funny story. We were in Aruba a couple weeks ago, and we were trying to just figure out where to eat. We found this, it was a pretty nice Italian place where the pasta, it was made in house. That was how cool it was. The pizza was pretty good. That's what I had. My wife ordered a margarita pizza, expecting the basil and everything else. It was a cheese pizza with one basil leaf in the center of the pizza. That was it. And the waitress came over, and she could see that my wife was like, "What the hell?" And she goes, "Is there something wrong?" And she goes, "Did you guys run out of basil?" And the server just looked so confused at my wife. That's how they serve it, just a cheese pizza with a piece of one basil leaf in the center of the pizza. And she pulled it off, and it would take a bite of pizza, take a little nibble of the basil.
I mean, sometimes you go places, people's definitions are different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So wherever you go,
a lot of people, margarita pizza is just with a very bland tomato sauce.
Yeah.
With cheese, and that's what they consider margarita pizza.
I've always had it fresh cut tomatoes and fresh roots and basil.
I'm
in New Jersey.
More than one basil.
Yeah, only more than one basil. In New Jersey, there's a thing called tomato pie, and I absolutely despise it. It's basically bread, olive oil, and then they crush up tomatoes and put it on top, and then they'll maybe have some spice, and that's it. If they add cheese, it's Parmesan.
Doesn't sound.
And that's not my way to eat pizza.
Now, I've had that once in my life.
Not a good experience?
I don't.
It was very different. I won't say it was horrible, I didn't, spit it out or anything, but it was just okay, not for me.
Yeah.
Instead of that, I just get bruschetta.
My daughter, Claire,
or as you would call it, bruschetta.
My daughter, Claire, who has type 1, also has celiac, so she can't eat gluten. So we get a gluten-free pizza for her, which is made out of cauliflower. And it's not bad, but the one that she likes the best is the roasted vegetables, which is what? This kid doesn't eat vegetables on anything else, but on this pizza with the roasted vegetables, and then we go and take bacon bits and put them on there, and she's in heaven. That's her favorite pizza. more than any of the restaurants. Like she'll like if we go and get a gluten-free from Domino's, it's like, yeah, what do you want on it? How about bell peppers and bacon? We're like, okay. But she likes the roasted veggies, and I think it's kind of cool because, and I no joke, since we're talking about pizza and stuff, one of the saddest things I found out when she had celiac is that we'll never be able to go get pizza again. And like I almost cried in the hospital when I'm hearing this. I was like, oh man. And then Michelle's like, no, it's okay. They have gluten-free pizza. I was like, really? And so it was like, I know it sounds corny as hell, but it's like that was such a big thing for me. Like, oh my God, she's never gonna get to eat pizza again. Like pizza.
Yeah, no.
If you do get,
I am a pizza addict when it comes, so I'd be very distraught if that was the case.
if you go to a place that has gluten free, though,
Yeah.
make sure that they use a separate cutter for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Yes. What we have found out, and I'm not going to get too much into this, is that she has a gluten allergy. We don't know to the extent. We call it celiac because the test is very invasive, where they have to do like a biopsy, and we're like, nah, we're not going to do all that. So what we've noticed is cross contamination doesn't like really affect her. Like, I mean, it's not good, but it won't make her sick. But one time we went to a place where they literally were frying the French fries in the same oil as they're frying the like chicken, breaded chicken fingers and all that stuff, and she got violently ill. And
Wow.
so we find out before when we go to the restaurant, hey, do you have a separate fryer for your French fries? Yes. Okay, cool. If not, she'll have mashed potatoes because we're not doing that again.
I can imagine.
It was terrible. It was at Knott's Berry Farm. It was a theme park. It was with the school. It was like the last day of school thing that they do, and it was supposed to be like go ride roller coasters and drink boysenberry punch, and instead she was thrown up in the bushes.
I actually know of that place because I had a friend from California. So Knott's Berry Farm is very famous for me because from that friend. And if I ever get to California, I really would like to go.
If you ever go, I'll take it.
Well, I know people who go to Knott's Berry Farm and throw up in the bushes, but it's normally for a different reason.
It's not because of the boysenberry punch. Maybe it's because of Montezuma's Revenge or the corks.
Yeah, I think they kind of overdo it.
Yeah.
He means I would do the rides probably.
Okay.
But that's it.
Well, greasy food.
Oh, okay.
You get so much greasy food in you, and then you drink, a lot of that punch at the same time. It's all that greasy food. I don't know that it sits well with everybody.
No, I agree.
I've never been, so I mean, this isn't me.
I have season passes. We got season passes, and then we included like they give you add-ons where you get like you can pay for your parking in advance, and you can get like a meal plan. So if you go into the park, you get like 2 meals a day for free. Not for free because you paid for it, but you're not paying anything out of pocket when you go. So one time I was going to a indie show that was like maybe 20 minutes away from Knott's Berry Farm, and I was leaving work at like 2:00. The show didn't start till 7, so I just went in the park, free parking, literally got food, and then left and just went to the wrestling show.
Why not?
It was a fun day. It was a fun day.
Do you get anything else from Domino's besides the pizza? Because I love their cheesy bread.
Yes.
And also, I wish they'd bring back the kickers personally, but their chicken's okay, and their bread bowls are good too. But if you don't get the bread bowl, you can get their bowls in the little metal container too.
We haven't. We got salad. We got like the chicken Caesar salad, which was great. We didn't get anything else, mostly because we got wings. My youngest daughter Piper doesn't like bread. It sucks because the one who has celiac loves bread. The one who doesn't like bread, completely fine. It's like, man, I wish you guys had the opposite taste here because that sure would be more beneficial. But so she won't eat pizza, but she'll eat the barbecue wings, and she looks like she was in a horror movie when she's done.
Damn.
Okay, you got to get the cinnamon bites.
Yes. They look great.
What about those? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Those chocolate lava cakes.
Oh my god!
From there.
Oh. I love all of their desserts because they have a damn good cookie brownie too.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a secret here.
All right, share.
The others know, but okay, I help a friend who manages the Domino's. So I deliver pizza sometimes on the side.
Right.
And so I love those chocolate lava cakes, but they can be rich. And so I will sometimes buy a thing because you buy a pack of 3. And so like I'll buy one, but I'll have like one today, 1, 2 or 3 days. Or one the next time I work or
Sure,
something like
sure.
that. And so it's like, but those bloody cinnamon bites, I'll order a thing of that and think I'll eat a couple here and take the rest home for later or whatever, which isn't. They don't necessarily warm up the best, but not horrible, but not the best. Not like when they're fresh, and they never make it home.
They're
and you get an icing dipping cup comes with them. So you're sitting there with I have to use a fork. So you take the bread bite that's covered in cinnamon and cinnamon sugar type thing, and then you dip that into the icing cup, and then you put it in your mouth, and then your blood sugar level goes to about 3,000.
Blood sugar level of 9,000. That's
so
impossible.
Good.
That's impossible.
No Dragon Ball fans here?
No, I'm not a Dragon Ball fan.
Sorry, I'm too old for that. Sorry.
See, I thought I was too old for that.
I like Dragon.
And then I met people older than me that were way into it. I was like, whoa, that's crazy, man.
Really?
Yeah, like, no, because, I thought I was too old for it when it came out. I watched Power Rangers and I was like 14 or 15. I'm like, I'm too old to be watching this. I enjoy it. This is
definitely was. I think it was a little.
You watch it for Kimberly like the rest of us.
I think that was like 3 years too old for that.
We're going all over the place, but Tommy, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, he's no longer with us, but his parents owned a trucking company, and my mom owned a trucking company, and they had worked together on a lot of jobs. And at the height of the popularity of Power Rangers, Tommy the Green Ranger, by way of his parents, sent me a little 5x7 autograph photo of him in the uniform and him not in the uniform. And I was so happy to have it then. And then when I got to be a young adult, I was like, I don't need this. And I threw it away. And I regret it every day that I threw that. Well, not every day, but whenever I think about the Power Rangers, I regret throwing that away.
Unknown fact, but there was actually negotiations to have Jason David Frank work for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators.
Okay, we're spiraling here, but this is my show, so I don't care. Do any of you guys remember a show called WMAC Masters?
You already know that I know about it, and anybody who might have watched WCW knows about it because there was once a feud between them.
I don't.
And also, we've heard Jay talk about it a lot. It was a karate style show that was like
it was a work show.
American Gladiators meets karate,
and it was it was totally worked. Like it wasn't like it was scripted, but it was like a kind of like a drama reality type show. But for kids, it was for kids, and they did karate, and like you would each fighter would have their own logo. And the goal was to collect, by beating your opponent, you would get their logo. And then once you have all 7 logos, you'd get this belt. And then you could challenge the master for the main title. And it was corny as hell. It was cheesy, but it was kind of fun. And I always thought that they should have tried to get some of those guys into independent wrestling. I thought that would have been hilarious.
They did an American Gladiator once, before the American Gladiators were wrestlers. Malibu was a professional wrestler also, and B, they did work with WCW for a little bit, and C, wasn't Terry Crews in WMAC Masters?
Who?
Terry Crews?
The actor?
Terry. You see,
the actor.
You're confusing two things. There was a knockoff American Gladiators. I think it was called Powerball or something like that. I don't know exactly. That's what worked with WCW, and Terry Crews was on that show. And they did have a crossover where like Rick Steiner and some of the B-level WCW wrestlers in the late 90s did this thing where they were going to do like a cross promotion type thing with the And I got to look it up, but it wasn't WMAC Fighters. WMAC Fighters was something separate from that.
It was Battle Dome.
You got to it first. Yeah, Battle Dome.
Whoa, hold on a second. That sounds familiar. I'm going to look that up.
That was the one with WCW. I don't know. I thought it was the same thing, but now that you say that, you're right. I do remember there was a difference.
King Shaw Omega says, what's the difference between Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, and Marvel? If you're asking me, it's just different levels in my life, because when I was a little kid, I was buying comics. I mean, I remember buying comics like in the 3rd grade up until like junior high. What was it? WMAC Fighters. Like that was when, again, kind of like Power Rangers, I knew that I was a little bit too old to be watching it, but it was still fun. Dragon Ball Z was mostly an anime thing, and I didn't have access to it. And when I did get access to it, I felt I was too old for it. And there was a point in time where, like, your boy Jay stopped watching wrestling for a few years because I thought it would enhance my chances with dating a girl, you know? So it's like, well, got to give up that too. Turns out you don't, guys. You could still be a fan of wrestling and date girls. It's totally okay.
They might look at you weird, but
you know,
maybe not.
Just you can do it if you shower. Wrestling
and wear
fans.
deodorant.
Deodorant is a huge
and wear deodorant.
thing.
Yeah,
deodorant's huge. I know that we all know going to indie wrestling shows that there may be a no deodorant clause there.
And no matter how interesting and fun the match is, if you feel like you need to use the bathroom, go. Don't try to wait it out. Don't hope for the best. Go to the damn bathroom, because I've seen that at a show, and I will never unsee that at a show.
I did find a picture of Terry Crews on Battle Dome. It's quite interesting.
He would have been a great pro wrestler, Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved him on Friday.
Dude. Yeah, he's great.
Well, you talk about like celebrity crossovers like Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, going back to our days like Mr. T, right? And who else do we have?
Chucky.
Who'd you say?
RoboCop. Chucky. RoboCop.
Yeah.
No. I'm thinking more of the lines like LT Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania. Or
I was there for that. Yeah.
Or WrestleMania 2, where they had the NFL and the WWF Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Like Terry Crews to me would have fit in with those kind of storylines. Like he would have been awesome in a WCW ring. Like imagine him and Rick Steiner, and Rick would have eaten him up, but still it would have been cool to see.
You remember Dennis Rodman did something for WCW, like during the basketball playoffs, or it may have been even in the championship series. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so he was taking a lot of criticism for doing it because, like, they had a game the next night, and he goes out and, like, sets a record for rebounds. It just goes to show some people are not of this world.
Oh, and then based on the success that he had in the NWO, they built an entire like tour in Australia with the main event being Dennis Rodman and Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And to me, that's crazy in and of itself. And that show had like, I think I have the DVD somewhere. Give me 1 second. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
The last time I saw the DVD, it was available in Dollar Tree, which is our version of it, like $1.25. Well, nothing. That's where I buy DVD sometimes, but that's where the last time I saw it.
My Dollar Tree has not had DVDs in a long time. It's making me very upset. I have.
It also bought the.
Sorry.
I also bought the 2 DVD set of not Muscomania. What was it? It was the guy trying to raise money for the Jewish fencing team.
And
he had a wrestling event.
Killer Kowalski and stuff like that.
And Iron Mike Sharp and Ken Patera and the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov and
I forgot the guy's name, but he was an old guy, had a lot of money, did some training with what's his face? Killer Kowalski.
Macabre Mania or something like that?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yep. And that was I guess he ran a few shows and they were quite successful. And Killer Kowalski took part in them, and he was able to get some good names. So I got
He ran
those for
3 of them,
$1.
and then
Yeah.
they did a 4th one recently.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, they just did a 4th one recently.
Wow.
Of all funny stuff. It was years afterwards, but obviously.
Okay.
Wow.
And that Brian Zane guy took part of it.
Here's an update. Rodman Down Under came out in 2000 as part of the iGeneration Superstars of Wrestling Tour, held on July 30th, 2020 at the Sydney Superdome in Sydney, Australia, with an attendance of around 10,000. It was taped and aired in the U.S. on December 1st, 2000, promoted largely for its main event featuring NBA star Dennis Rodman. The commentary was provided by Vince Mancini and Ted DiBiase. Here are some of the matches from the event. The Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, defeated the Public Enemy, Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock. The hardcore match featured the Barbarian defeating Brute Force. A singles match had Sweet Destiny with Ozzy Joe defeating Brandy Wine with Sugar Daddy. The iGeneration Australia-Asian title match, the one-man gang defeated Tatanka to win the title. And in the main event that ended in disqualification, Kurt Hennig, who was your iGeneration world champion, defeated Dennis Rodman, but again, that was by DQ.
Jeez.
Interesting stuff, right?
Yeah, I love those like one-off promotions that have stuff like that, especially around the time. Well, WCW was still around in 2000, but saying 2000, 2001, 2002, when after they closed, there was all these one-offs. You know what I mean? Like, what was it? World Wrestling All-Stars. That was a blast. They did like 3 pay-per-views here in the United States.
They actually were around for a while. I went to one of the pay-per-views that they did in Vegas.
Really?
And it was wild and insanity at the same time. And I don't remember the exact match lineups, but like I know Chris Sabin and AJ Styles were there. They had one show with like I think it was Psychosis and Eddie Guerrero, or maybe it could have even been Ray. They did Sabu versus Crowbar.
But yeah, was it Crowbar?
And then they did Brian Adams and Brian Clark took on
Chronic.
Chronic. They took on a local tag team with Navajo Warrior, and I can't remember his tag team partner. Navajo Warrior. He's been a mainstay on the West Coast forever, like Arizona, where he's from. But he worked a lot of enhancement matches with the WWE. Friend of the show, actually. He's done a lot of cool stuff for us. He's the one that helped me get that interview with Samoa Joe. So shout out to Navajo Warrior. But all that being said, I really like those World Wrestling All-Stars pay-per-views. I saw like Jerry Lynn, and they had a lot of good guys on those shows. But unfortunately, I heard there was a lot of internal embezzling and some shit like that went down. Sean Mega brings up XWF that had Jimmy Hart.
Yes.
There was also
WX DVDs. Yeah.
There was also
WXO.
Yeah, with Adam Pearce. And then there was
who was Adam Pearce's tag team partner again?
Oh God, I can't remember. I'll look it up.
Was it John Zandig?
It might have been.
Oh brother.
I always thought of that as just Hogan's attempt to get back into WWE.
Well, that was XWF.
That's kind of what XWF was, yeah.
There was also that AWF that like used the UK style.
The round system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that because over here that was on at like midnight, 11 o'clock midnight, I think, like that. And the roster I thought was basically everybody that was washed up from the 1980s. No offense to any of them, but it was kind of amazing to watch a lot of those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a couple young guys who got their start there, including that's how one of the reasons Tom Brady got his job in WCW.
Really? Well, was he Tom Brady?
He was working the Johnny Gunn.
Or was he using the Johnny?
He was working Johnny Gunn as the gimmick.
Yeah, he started that in WCW, right? Didn't he?
No, he started that in AW. He started that in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And then he came to the AWF, and that's where he was television-wise there.
And that's where he started.
And then they brought him.
Is that where he started his tag team in the AWF with Jimmy Powers? They were what are they, Magnum Force or Max? Some crap. I forget the name,
but that is where they was teaming up with Jimmy Powers.
Mega Blasters. I saw. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Are you guys ready for Adam Pearce's extensive career anthology in WXO?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, 3 total matches, all filmed on the same day. His first match was Adam Pearce teaming with Tommy Rogers to take on Eric Watts and Zandig. Now, not Eric Watts from Southern California, but Eric Watts as in Bill Watts' son. Then it was the Bodies, Ace Steel and Danny Dominion, defeat Adam Pearce and Tommy Rogers. And then the final match of his WXO career, the Shane brothers defeat Adam Pearce and the Bodies in a handicap match. All those matches took place on January 16th, 2000 in Lakeland, Florida for WXO. Sean Mega said Aaron Aguilera. Aaron Aguilera, the hardcore kid, teamed up with Adam Pearce during their UPW run, Ultimate Pro Wrestling, not to be confused with Ultimate Power Wrestling or whatever the other promotion was that was on syndication. Not the same, but UPW where John Cena made his debut and was like, that's where a lot of those guys were discovered. Samoa Joe, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Ryan.
Donovan Morgan.
Who?
Donovan Morgan and what was Donovan Morgan's partner? Mike Masters.
Did you say
Mike Modest? Yeah.
Did you say Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
He was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Knox was there. Tom Howard was like one of the trainers there. He didn't really have a lot of success in the United States, but worked in 01 in Japan, did some stuff for AAA. Nathan Jones, you might remember his short-term run in the WWE. He was supposed to be like Undertaker's replacement and didn't go anywhere. John Heidenreich used to team with Nathan Jones back at UPW. And I'm surprised how far we got into wrestling from pizza to wrestling, because we really just did a deep dive on some early 2000 wrestling.
Deep dish to deep dive.
I love early 2000s wrestling because it was such a weird time for professional wrestling. I mean, you kind of had basically, the one major company after 2001 for a little while, and then
for sure,
I used to just sit around and watch NWA Wildside on on local TV that we got out here in Connecticut, and that and TNA Explosion I used to just watch. They used to air them back to back, so that's all I pretty much watched because I wasn't interested in WWE at the time after they took over the entire world. So there was a lot of really cool things happening as far as that kind of stuff goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And MLW.
I was living wrestling. I was living part of that stuff back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we dead?
Sorry, I all of a sudden I went to open up Facebook because there are some graphics that I need to download, and then right as soon as I see that, I saw some really juicy internet drama about Southern California, which it doesn't affect you guys, and you wouldn't know any of the people, but I'm like, oh, I know that guy. He is a dick.
I love.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in wrestling, and if your areas, determine certain things, but there's a lot that just does not belong in wrestling. People and information that gets out that just puts a whole black eye on the business. And
I like listening to it. I just ignore it. Don't like to become a part of it.
Exactly. The
I
same.
like drama. Sorry, guys. No. In seriousness, I do listen to it, but I try my best not to become part of anything as part of the industry. You know what I mean?
I like what's going on. I like knowing what's going on, so that if there is somebody who is a pariah in the industry, look, tell me what they did so I know whether to support them or not, which side of the fence I should be on. Because if there's a dude who did some stuff that's really, really dirty, I don't want to associate.
We talked about this earlier. Yeah, about this earlier.
It's different situation, but similar.
Yeah.
If there's a guy out there who is dating an underage girl, I don't want to associate with them. I don't want to know about that. I don't want to be a part of that thing. There's a guy out there who's stealing money from the other wrestlers. I don't want to be associated with him. Tell me what's going on when it comes to that. I don't want to promote somebody saying, oh, this guy is great. I really love this wrestler. And then I find out he's a piece of shit scumbag. That's the last thing that I want to do.
Right.
All right. Sorry, I had to just get that off my chest.
It's just safer not to like anybody.
Just bury everyone. That's Jaden's motto.
Well, that's
just
my
bury
theory.
everyone.
That's my theory.
There
Yeah, I
you
do
go.
have a question for you guys.
Sure.
That's wrestling.
I have an
That's
answer.
wrestling related, but not NWA specifically related.
All right, let's hear it.
So, in the last 11 days, we've had the WWE Undisputed title change hands when a face, Sami Zayn, won the title in Saudi Arabia.
By the way, was he actually a face? But go ahead.
In Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
He was kind of the hometown thing. In the U.S., no. But there, yes.
Okay.
And he kind of wrestled as the face. Gunther wrestled as the heel, and Cody wrestled as the tweener. So we had that. 9 days later, he loses the title to CM Punk. And then last night, Kenny Omega wins the AEW title, ending a 45-day title reign by MJF, who ended a 39-day title reign by Darby Allin. And for the last year, Jon Moxley lost the title to Hangman Adam Page last year in July 12th of 2025. The longest title reign has been 133 days. The shortest title reign has actually been Samoa Joe at 35 days. And they've had 6 different championship reigns among 5 different wrestlers. And so I want your thoughts. Are all these title changes good, bad, indifferent? It depends.
I'll go first. And Sean Mega just pointed out, MJF is injured. At least that's what's been speculating. Like, he's been wrestling hurt. He's had a bad knee, but he's still been going. I think wrestling is at its best when it's chaos, when I can't predict what's going to happen next. I'll tell you, watching Monday night, knowing that they were in Chicago, as soon as Cody was removed from that match, I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I knew exactly what the outcome was going to be. I think a blind man could have predicted.
Well, I was going to say the crowd was telling us.
Yeah. But I still think... Go ahead, Rick.
Go ahead. Never mind. No, it was just predictable that we knew who was returning and how that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So once his music hit, you knew exactly. It was there was no way to, you know what I'm saying? To not know what was going to happen.
I think Sami winning the title in Saudi Arabia was a feel-good moment for, obviously the Saudi Arabian fans who can associate with Sami because of his Muslim faith and their Muslim faith. And I think that was a good moment for them in Saudi. However, I didn't have a problem with that because, again, I didn't feel like that was a predictable moment. I didn't think that Cody was going to lose the title, let alone lose it to Sami. If he lost it to Gunther, that kind of, seemed to track to me. And then we go, 9 days later, he drops the belt to CM Punk. Again, I wasn't predicting at the beginning of the night that CM Punk would leave as champion, but I sure as hell knew he was going to win the title once you saw him. The garage door opens up and he was the mysterious opponent. As soon as they said we need a mystery opponent because Cody's out, I think everybody knew at that point.
I knew they were in Chicago, so, and I guess, listening to early morning radio, you kind of knew exactly what was going to happen if you listen to wrestling podcasts or radio in the, that are dropped in the morning. So,
well, to be honest, I didn't know anything because I actually didn't even tune in until Sami Zayn was walking out to the ring to defend this title, and they were talking about all this thing, and we don't know who the mystery person's going to be or whatever. And the very first thing I did was I asked my phone, "Where's this taking place?" And because the crowd had started chanting CM Punk, and it's like it's in Rosemont, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. I go, oh, it's going to be CM Punk.
Yeah.
And he'd been out since April, I think, right? So
right.
It was kind of
the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was listening to, I guess, Wrestling Observer Radio, and they had confirmed that he was going to be there probably the day before. So, you know, I I like when wrestling is unpredictable, but I don't
Yes.
like when the titles are like hot potato bounced around so much. But when wrestling is too predictable. Well, after watching it for 40 some odd years, I'm sure that you all feel the same way, that you kind of know what's going on, even though it's still enjoyable to all of us, but I like when it's just, you don't necessarily, you can't feel what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when Sammy got the title, obviously he was a transitional champion, but he also was given the title. This is a guy that's done really, really hard work over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he kind of deserved a little high five, pat on the back and get it. So, obviously he's going to be in the group of people that held that title for years to come.
I didn't have a problem with Sammy winning, and in fact,
I didn't. No.
I am not a Sami Zayn fan, and I was not a El Generico fan. So going back a long way, I've not been the biggest fan of this person, but I couldn't help but smile when he won the title and won it cleanly and beat Cody specifically.
Right.
And so it's just like he beat the champion cleanly. He got his big moment and everything. And there is some balance. I mean, about predictable or whatever. I think everybody knew Darby Allin was going to win the title. Everybody knew Darby Allin was going to lose the title. A lot of the other title reigns, for the last year, we basically knew what was going to happen. Joe's being so short was a little bit surprising, but the way they set it up with MJF cashing in his whatever he cashed in, I don't remember but his chance for the title to make it a 4-way, it was kind of like, well, if he doesn't win, he's a big idiot. And so, I mean, I would say that most of the AEW title changes were not surprises. I'd say last night was probably the first one that actually surprised me. And yeah, I've heard stories that MJF was injured, but he was also still wrestling. So, it's kind of like that. Well, maybe
he was wrestling at his fullest as well. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, and he would do the knee and stuff like that. And you never knew, how much was work and how much was shoot. And so, and it seemed like, to steal a line from Jim Cornette, the AEW was trying to set up for their biggest show, their biggest babyface versus their biggest heel, but they kept muddling it. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't watch AEW, so I don't know who the fans would rather see Will Ospreay wrestle, if it be Kenny Omega or MJF or who. But that one was the one that took me by surprise. But just because there were so many title changes suddenly, it just made me wonder what people thought. And Jaden, I haven't heard anything from you yet.
I don't believe in Crash TV, so I'm not a big fan of what AEW is doing. I don't mind an occasional short title reign to make it seem unpredictable, to make people throw it off. Like I said, people always make fun of Tommy Rich, but Tommy Rich winning and losing the NWA World title in Georgia within a few days set that territory on fire and really brought it to a level of big success. When done right, it can be important and can be valuable for the company, but it should be done very sparingly. I don't like the idea of, honestly, everybody's thinking like, "Oh, Sammy deserved." I hate that shit. The only people that should deserve it if it makes the most money, the the um the uh the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship should be like the Spatula of the Month Club or whatever.
Yes.
That everybody gets a shot at it. It's, like that, the Employee of the Month, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be the person who makes the most money, draws the most viewers for the company, somebody who will actually help move the company to a current or even better financial level. That's who the World Heavyweight Champion should always be. Everybody always like, Roddy Piper deserved it. Jake the Snake Roberts deserved it. Kurt Hennig deserved it. If they deserved it, if they really were going to be the guys that held the most money, they were going to be the ones who got the shot. If they were around maybe a little bit later, they might have during the Diesel and the Bret Hart era and the Shawn Michaels era and like that era. But for the era they were, none of them were going to make more money than Hulk Hogan. So none of them deserved to be champion because none of them are going to draw that money. The only time is that they were doing a transitional champion. Maybe I could fight for Ted DiBiase, but they did the tournament instead and put it on Randy Savage, which I was perfectly fine with. That's the only one who I could see that there's any kind of argument. They believe it was supposed to happen anyway, and they did not happen the way they were supposed to. But yeah, there's nobody who deserves it. It ain't about who's your friend or how hard you work or how nice of a guy you are or how much the fans like you. It's all about who makes the most money. That's the only person who should be world champion. That's why I don't like that Sami Zayn. I have nothing against Sami Zayn. And I don't, if he was drawing the money, if he was bringing in the crowd, at least with Kofi Kingston, Kofi Kingston was drawing a very big crowd at the time. At least with Daniel Bryan took over the wrestling industry at the time and was like the biggest thing in wrestling at the time. I could see that argument, but somebody like who's just, he's a hard worker and he's been with the company, he deserves a run just, to give him a little something, that just values the business, that devalues the belt, that devalues the championship, that devalues the company. Anybody says that otherwise, they really know nothing about professional wrestling. I'm going to say that right now. Call everybody out on that.
And you also got to be careful with what's meant by, makes money, because we were talking about at one time merch sales. Well, if you go by merch sales, the main event should be Jey Uso versus Danhausen. And I don't know that that's actually what you'd want as your main event in title match. But
thank you.
But buying merch because I think Yeet is cool or I think Danhausen is funny or whatever, that's one thing. It doesn't mean I want to see them as the champion. Right. And so, I thought Sammy was used perfectly. It was a surprise to get the title off Cody. It was a surprise to lose the title, to Punk. And by surprise, I mean you kind of weren't expecting this a month ago. So I don't have a problem, but I'm with Jaden that nobody deserves it, but I don't have a problem that they use Sammy to transition from one to the other.
Going back to AEW with MJF losing that title, one thing that I can tell you, because I was there at the Viejas Arena in San Diego when they taped Collision and Dynamite on the same night, and it was then that Kenny Omega challenged MJF with a stipulation that, well, if he loses, he'll never be able to challenge for that title again. And they brought up Cody Rhodes. They brought up Hangman Page, two people who were basically in a matchup for that title. And if they lost, they could never challenge for it again. And they literally name dropped Cody. They literally name dropped Hangman Page. And I right there said, Kenny's going to win it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said too. It was kind of, they couldn't do it again with that stipulation. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but what's the benefit? Like, look, you don't have to love Kenny Omega. I understand that AEW is not everybody's cup of tea, but he was the dude for AEW when it started. I mean, Jericho was the guy, right? Jericho had the legacy, but at the time, Kenny Omega was probably considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. Whether you guys like him or not, that's irrelevant. The media thought that Kenny Omega was one of the best wrestlers in the world.
He's a big international star. Like
absolutely.
Everywhere.
And
yeah.
Has he missed a step? Absolutely. He's not who he was 6 years ago. His health has been worse. He's not the guy he was. But when we talk about AEW versus WWE, where WWE is more about the entertainment and AEW is more about, to say it in layman's terms, they're trying to pop Dave Meltzer. They're trying to get those 5-star matches. And I think MJF versus Will Ospreay would have been a killer match. I like both of those guys quite a bit. But Kenny Omega will put his every bit of heart and soul into this match with Will Ospreay. And this is going to be that generational transition from Kenny Omega, who was essentially the face of the franchise, to Will Ospreay going forward. Will Ospreay is going to be their ace. And I'm telling you right now, I think Will Ospreay is going to win the title at All In. I didn't know that MJF was hurt until after, of course, you heard about the challenge and all that when he wrestled Jay Briscoe, or excuse me, RIP Jay Briscoe. When he wrestled Mark Briscoe, I was there to see it, and it went on first, and it was a very he didn't pull any punches. I mean, it was a great looking match for what MJF does and what Mark Briscoe does. So I was surprised that he that he was hurt. I didn't know that. But if that's what they're saying, that he's hurt, then it makes all the sense in the world. And it gives you that opportunity to put, again, your generation match. You're taking Kenny Omega, who was the guy, and you're saying, okay, this is the new guy. And I know it's not traditional American style wrestling. I guess that's more like what you see in New Japan when they reveal a new ace and the new ace takes over. But I feel like this is what AEW's efforting to do.
Has it ever officially been stated that MJF is hurt? I mean, I've heard rumors and stories, but I've never heard anything official.
I can't answer that one.
And I don't have a problem that Kenny Omega won the title per se or whatever. It's just, it's just one of those interesting things of if Kenny Omega is going to lose the title, that's just one more.
That's 2 weeks away, isn't it? Or no, is it? It's a month away, right?
Yeah, it's a month away. They have another
pay-per-view. Well, about 5 weeks, but that's basically going to be a less than 60-day reign.
Right.
So I mean, it'll be less than 2 months for Omega. Ollie now, AEW, which once had more single-time champions than multiple-time champions, now has more multiple-time champions than single-time champions. It's modern wrestling. But not something I'm biggest on, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't specifically have an issue with the idea that Kenny Omega himself, again, if you're an AEW fan, you're probably a Kenny Omega fan, and so that's what works for them.
May I interject something?
Please. Yes.
I don't have a problem with predictability if the wrestling is good. I don't watch a lot of modern wrestling, but you know what? I watch a lot of old wrestling where I already know or remember the results, and I still enjoy the match even though I know the result because the wrestling was good.
Yeah.
If the wrestling and the storylines and the drama and the energy and the emotion in there is great, then I don't care. I liked the Nick Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch match, and we all knew Trevor Murdoch was going to win.
That's fair.
Didn't stop me from enjoying that match at all. So if it has the right ingredients, then I'm okay with predictability because we all knew that the Avengers were going to end up, spoiler alert, beating Thanos.
What?
I mean,
but the emotion, the story, and how it happened is what why it was a great movie.
I apologize real quick. If you guys are in the chat, Patrick Moore said that Steve G and Willie Bowen are not being seen in the chat. I don't see it. I also know that Sean Mega has been having some issues. I don't know what's going on. And it's not. Look, I love Willie Bowen. He used to give us the Tyrus jokes of the day. Steve G has been one of the most loudest supporters of both the Pre-Party and the Alliance Guys podcast. Nothing but love for both those guys. So I'm not sure what's going on, why we can't see you, but it's just not popping up in the chat. And my tablet is dead, so I can't even get on to look at it right now. I will try to look into it. Yeah. I don't know why it's you guys aren't showing up in the chat, or if you're.
I blame Matthew Underwood. Probably his fault.
Well, he doesn't have Matthew doesn't have any kind of authority on the YouTube page. We do have some moderators, but I don't think anyone would have ever blocked anything that Steve G said or anything that Willie Bone would have said, or Sean Mega for that matter. So I'm just saying it right now.
Maybe it's AI.
What's that?
Maybe it's AI.
I don't know, I'm really, really sorry because again, I love both those guys. I nothing but the utmost respect for both of them, and Sean Mega. So I apologize, guys. I don't know how to fix it right now. I'll look into it. I've been trying to figure out with Sean Mega why he's not showing up. I don't know. Patrick Moore, if you could do me a favor. Yeah, I haven't seen Willie on here in weeks, and I just thought that maybe Willie got tired of our shenanigans, to be quite honest. I honestly was like, well, I guess we talked a little bit too much WWE for him.
DK, can you go through and see if anybody's blocked since I think you're a mod? Why did you make that person I was going to say is a dirty word, Kikuchi, a mod and not me?
Yeah, because we don't like you.
I kind of figured.
I was afraid you were going to convert the channel to that solar power love machine stuff, and I can't have that on here.
I'm looking in the chat, and I'm seeing very little. Like, I see Rick saying, "Hey fans," I see Noob. I see Lou Thez.
Change it to not the top comments. Change it to everything.
I don't even know if I could see this. Hang on. Top chat. Let me go to live chat. Yeah. Who are we looking for again? Willie Bowen.
Willie Bowen or
Okay, guys. While they are looking on that, I don't watch Power anymore, so I really can't help much on NWA Power. I thought there was supposed to be a fifth one of us, by the way.
Yeah. So there is another Alliance guy that you guys have seen in the past. We call him Double D. He's the other Devin. And he had said, "Hey, Jay, I missed you guys. I would like to come back on for an episode." I said, "Yeah, man, every Thursday." And he's like, "Well, what time?" I said, "You're on the East Coast. It's 8 p.m. for you. It's 5 o'clock for me." Yeah. And I messaged him this morning. I was like, "Hey, man, I just want to make sure that you're good to go today." He goes, "Oh, I forgot. I'm double booked. My wife's taking me out for dinner and drinks with some friends." I'm like, "Say less, man. I get it." So, and I even titled the show like it was supposed to be got 5 on it because I thought we were gonna have 5 on the show, but that's okay. Double D is always welcome back. He's not here this week, but maybe he'll be here next week. I don't know.
He's usually in the chat, right? Usually in the chat.
Sometimes he'll pop in, but again, he's out with his wife. He's having mommy and daddy time, so I understand.
Nothing wrong with that.
And again, Patrick Moore, please relate to Steve and Willie that this is an ongoing issue. It's not them. It's probably us somehow. And if we can figure it out, we'll figure it out. We definitely want them to come back.
Tell them to go to the TikTok for time being.
Yeah, you can see it on TikTok or and I hate to suggest it because it sounds like I'm making you do extra work to watch us, but you can always make a different YouTube account. I know that's a lot of work, but I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what I'm doing wrong or how to fix it, and I'm going to research it a little bit more, and maybe I'll go live. So
I think it might be a YouTube thing because, like, I flip back and forth between top chat and live chat, and I'm seeing the same messages. There's no difference.
Well, but and again,
it could be like you said, an AI block or something like that. They could have blocked them, whatever, or by accident. I've done that before, and I had to really dig into my account to find out how to unblock somebody.
That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Like I started to do that for Sean Mega, and again, Sean Mega might be watching on TikTok still. I love Sean. I met Sean the same time that I met DKM, Jaden, and Big Chris Dog all back on the NWA boards. It was never and Luthez. It was never supposed to be personal. It was never supposed anyone who got blocked incidentally. I don't know how it happened, and I got to figure it out. But again, sorry to interrupt the whole chat on that, but yeah, we do.
I blame Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. God, I wish Obama was president right now. Juggalo.
I don't, because he had 2 reigns.
Yeah, he can't. Juggalo's in the chat on TikTok, and he says, NWA Power, any good? And, it just depends on what you qualify as good. I enjoyed this week's episode until the main event.
Okay. I think I agree with that. I got to see some people on the show that I really enjoy. Some East Coasters.
Is Vin Parker one of your guys?
No, I don't. I'm not familiar with him, but Tony Leanda is.
Because Tony Leanda looked fantastic.
He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal worker, and a hell of a guy on top of it. So, to see him on TV, on my television, it was awesome.
Well, you can let him know that Jay would love to have him on the Alliance guy or the pre-party anytime.
Pre-party. Whoa.
Adonis looked good when he was there, and then he had that backstage segment with Carson Drake and Rich Adonis, and it was stupid promo because it was Carson Drake being Carson Drake. But if it leads to a matchup for him, I'm all for it. Both those guys look really, really good. We saw Adonis last week. I think he took on I don't remember, but yeah, Power I feel like has been a pretty good show since moving to Comet. They've gotten rid of a lot of the more sillier things, but there's still some of the silly, but I feel like they've gotten a lot more back to wrestling.
Way less of the silly, like not even anyway. I think most of the silly now is the Carson Drake segments. You know what I mean? Like that.
Carson Drake and anything that Aaron Stevens is in is pretty silly.
It's silly, yes, but I think he actually makes me laugh. It's not like those scenes inside the gas station or comic book store or whatever that just annoyed the hell out of me. Or what was the other ones? Anger management segments. That was like, it's a wrestling show. Get the out of here. You know what I mean? It's like the at least like Aaron Stevens, even when he was in WWE, just made me laugh. He has great delivery in whatever he does. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
do a
he should work for Domino's.
Okay.
But that way he can be delivery.
Maybe he can be the one that decides to deliver across town.
Luthez says this. He says, I'm trying to pretend that I didn't see Mondo and Stevens making the faces in the corner at the training sessions this week. Yeah, again, they didn't eliminate the goofy, right? They didn't eliminate it. But I'd much rather see Mondo and Aaron Stevens, plotting and planning of how they're going to make Brian Idol's life miserable, no pun intended, during a coaching segment than say like the anger management or the tattoo shop or the comic book shop or the video game store. Hey Matt,
that was too WWE for me, that segment. I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I like just this whole Tampa taping. Like we've seen, if you watch Marky D, and I don't normally watch Marky D's stuff. He's funny, and he does probably as good a job covering the NWA as anybody else. But he's always got that slant where he kind of cuts it down while saying, okay, well, I like this guy, I like this guy, but it cuts this down. But he was talking about, it feels like the budget for the NWA was cut because we're seeing all these new faces, and I don't have a problem with new faces. In fact, everyone that they've brought in, I've kind of been digging.
It seems like they're taking it more seriously because it seems like they're bringing in a lot of, I don't know how to say, goofiness, I guess you can say on occasion. You know what I mean? And it seems like bringing in somebody like Richard Adonis and what's the other guy? What's his name?
Vin
Uh,
Parker.
yeah, Vin Parker, Tony Leenda. Like, give these guys shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, to actually showcase themselves. I thought that I think those guys could do really well in the NWA and also do very well for the NWA as far as trying to get people, because I think that all those guys are great, fantastic. It's better than seeing somebody like the Slime Balls on TV.
Well, we're speaking of the Slime Balls, they'll be joining us on this week's pre-party coming up on Tuesday.
Oops.
Oh, that's okay.
That'll be that'll be Reddit's favorite. That'll be Reddit's favorite thing. Because actually, they're fans. A lot of people like the Slime Balls. They're very popular, especially on Reddit.
I started to kind of come around, and then stopped watching for a little while, and then I came back, and my God, nope. They put back, in the garbage bin for me. Sorry.
They're still the reigning United States presidents of the championship, whatever.
Yeah.
And look, I don't. I understand that they're not for me. I get that. I 100% get that. I still think that they can have some decent matches. And again, if we get some of the titles being defended, none of this is a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. But to what Rick said, having these guys like Vin Parker, like Tony Leanda, like Je ne sais quoi, thank you, Matthew Underwood, for helping me with that. I like the new faces, and I think the NWA needs it.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot more too, I think, coming from what I understand.
Well, yeah, they're planning to do that reality show, and there's been guys from the Northeast. The biggest name that I've seen connected to it is Alex Kane. And
okay, what, really? From MLW?
Yeah, again, they haven't announced any names yet, right? But Alex Kane has said, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm willing to work for it, but give me a shot at NWA. And I'm like, hell yeah, we need Alex Kane in the NWA.
That guy I think he would bring the level up so much in the NWA. Like, seriously, I thought he's a phenomenal worker. You know what I mean? I think that,
what the heck?
What the heck?
We got two.
What the heck?
We got two DKs.
We're gonna have to.
I said two Devins. You screwed that up a little bit. You cloned DKM instead.
Oh. There we go. I think that was the right one. I think I got rid of the right one. So
you'll never know.
Well, that's true.
Which one's the good one?
Yeah, right. Like there's a good one. Hey, is it just me, or is NWA Power starting to become a WWE show?
How so?
We got commercials during matches when it's not necessary, and we have backstage wrestlers talking with a camera there, but they don't see the camera, so they just talk.
That's kind of just what I said. Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, that's kind of what I said a couple minutes ago. I thought there was a couple.
My computer froze up.
Oh, yeah, there was a couple segments that were like too WWE, like the that backstage segment, that the Brian Idol thing. Like they're like, oh no, look who's behind the ring. It's like, how do they not know that those two dudes are there? They're all in the same room.
Well, and what happened to the day of interviews? I mean, they still don't do many, interviews.
Because we all made fun of May, and she was actually better than the crap we got later.
I loved May
so much.
I never made fun of her. I loved her. Because she would always ask things in the same way that every person was actually thinking.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I met May in person?
Yeah. I know the story. I don't know if the others know it.
Should I talk about it or no?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So, I think it was maybe 2 years ago. My buddy's like, "Hey,
I know the story.
Green Day is coming to LA. Do you want to go with me?" And I go, "Well, I'm not a big Green Day fan, but sure, I'll go with you." And I was looking to see if I can find the picture, and I don't think I'll be able to find it. And And I go, well, I'm not a big May Valentine fan, but sure, sorry, I'm not a big Green Day fan, but I will go with you, sure. And he's like, oh, well, your favorite, the Smashing Pumpkins are playing, and then I kind of laugh because this friend knows of how much I enjoy Billy Corgan, or don't enjoy Billy Corgan. And I go, yeah, it'll be a good time. So we get there, and of course it's a concert. So I had a daddy soda and then another daddy soda. And by the third daddy soda, I was feeling great. And on my way to get the fourth daddy soda, I saw May Valentine, and I leaned over to my buddy. I go, holy shit, that's May. And he goes, I have no idea who that is because he doesn't watch the NWA. And I said, she does interviews for the NWA. And he goes, oh, you should go talk to her. And of course, I've had 3 daddy sodas, and I don't normally drink daddy sodas. So yeah, of course I should go talk to her. So I come up to her and I go, May, good to see you. Loved your work in the NWA. And she looked at me like I was crazy, which, I understand. And she goes, oh, you watch the NWA? I go, yeah. She goes, what do you think about the show? And I go, eh. she goes, what do you think the problem is with the show? I go, it's Billy. He's not a very good wrestling booker. And she looked at me shocked, her eyes just wide open. How, in her mind, how could you say that? You're literally at his concert. And I go, look, he's a fantastic musician. I will never take away anything from Billy Corgan's artistic ability inside of a studio or at a concert, but he's not a very good booker, May. And
she probably went back to Billy and said, Kevin Owens said that you're a horrible booker.
Probably. That's funny. I would not have been surprised by that. I can't find the photo now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's got to be May.
It's got to be May Valentine. Like I said, it was. She was really cool. The last thing I ever want to do is creep people out. I'm not going to come talk to you and make you feel awkward. And I wasn't trying to be that weird dude, but she was super cool. She just talked to me like a regular person, and I talked to her like a regular person. So it was great.
You ever see those pictures where somebody thinks they met a celebrity?
Yes.
And then when you look at it, obvious they're not a celebrity, but you can see how they can make the mistake.
Yeah.
I think she's like, man, Kevin Owens was talking to me at a Smashing Pumpkins / Green Day concert.
And he was so cool.
She probably told all her friends.
And he was so.
He didn't even have his accent.
He just treated me like a regular person.
What's the oddest, while Jay's looking up for the picture, what's the oddest celebrity you've ever met?
Eric Estrada.
How about you, DK?
Yeah. Maybe Richard Bay. Sorry. Do you remember Richard Bay? Was it Richard Bay?
I know. I remember Richard Bay.
When I worked at the Yale bookstore, he came in as a customer. He gave me a keychain from the Richard Bay show.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Are you there, DK? Do you have an odd celebrity you've met, or are you on mute?
He might have accidentally logged out.
Might have froze again.
I met Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts, a Nickelodeon show from the 80s.
No idea
what lies are you telling?
I was wondering, who was the oddest celebrity you've ever met?
Who was the what?
Oddest or most unusual, the weirdest celebrity you've ever met?
Joan Rivers.
What?
She was weird? I don't consider her a weird celebrity.
She was.
I don't mean awkwardly weird. I meant like I met Donkey Lips, and he met Eric, and Rick met Eric Estrada, and Jay met Rex Manning.
My cousin Neek is watching on TikTok, and she said, "Wow, Donkey Shorts, I love him."
It was Donkey Lips, but yeah, from Salute Your Shorts.
There we go.
He was guest DJing in the area.
No, I mean, nice. Joan was a very nice person when I met her, but you could just tell that she had very little interest of anything that was going on around her, or anything. It's just it's a long story as to why my brother and I got to meet her, but we got the chance, and we got the chance to go backstage after a show here and everything. And she was very, she was very polite, but also very just, whatever, the world's going on, stuff like that. I'm not really paying a lot of attention to anything.
Matthew Underwood has a good story. He said, one time I met Ray Liotta and told him I loved him in Robot Chicken. He looked at me and took a puff of his cigarette and said, nah. It was hilarious. Later, I realized I was thinking of Family Guy. And Lou Thez said, Chuck Berry, if you know, you know.
He was a weirdo. Yeah.
When I used to work at a Best Buy, Rob Van Dam came into the store. And I used to work loss prevention at Best Buy. Rob Van Dam opened up a comic book store in the mall that was adjacent to our Best Buy. But before he opened up the store, I was at a loss prevention meeting with the other retailers, and we were talking about like how we could work with the mall security. They had like the sheriffs had a substation at the mall, so like what are the best practices to stop shoplifting, and how can we work together? If somebody is stealing from one store, what can we do to help? And this guy lays on the story, and I think it was a Macy's, that this guy stole a woman's purse inside the mall. And the woman screams, and RVD is there because he's starting at his comic book shop, and he chases this guy. He's chasing this guy who has this woman's purse, and they're not too far from the mall is in El Torito. He chases him into the El Torito bathroom and literally like beats the dude up and has the purse, and somebody follows in, and Rob says, here, hold this while I keep this guy subdued. Call the sheriffs. The sheriffs were coming. He hands the purse to this guy. The guy he hands the purse to is his buddy. And the guy still stole the purse. But it was such a cool moment. And we like, and if it was somebody telling me that wasn't working for loss prevention, I would have thought, how believable is it? But the guy was there because he was chasing as well. He got there late, obviously. And so that was always a funny story. But he had come into our store, and everybody who knew who he was, like, got all excited, and they always knew that I was a huge wrestling fan, and they're like, hey, can we take the Polaroid camera and take pictures? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And someone's like, do you want me to take your picture with RVD? And I go, in my Best Buy work uniform, I do not want to take a picture with Rob Van Dam. No, thank you. I'm all right on that.
You ever see anybody when you worked at KFC?
No. I saw
KFC.
No.
It's a long inside joke.
I'll share it because, I mean, we could talk about the NWA or we could talk about inside jokes.
Let's talk about the NWA because I've heard this. I don't want to give the other guy any more publicity.
Okay.
They'll tell you off the air.
So, long story short, somebody thought I worked there because I said so on Facebook. That's all.
He was trying to hide where he really was working, which was he was the mopper at one of the adults bookstores.
No. I'm going to mute you. Keep going. Family out.
It took me a second to.
As soon as you said mop, I
edited myself very much on that one, so I could have made that much better.
You did, because it took me a second.
And notice there was a pause as I'm trying to think how to say it where I won't get Jane in too much trouble.
Sean Mega poses a question that I'll pose to you, gentlemen. Should the NWA do a rock star versus rock star story with another popular rock star?
Heck no.
Where are they going to get the first popular rock star?
No.
Are they talking washed up rock stars? Because, I mean,
there's plenty. You go throw a rock and hit one of those.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho? Oh, wait, no, he was never a rock star.
No.
I tend to disagree with you, sir.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah, he's like internet famous. I don't think, I don't know. It was his band that popular, to be honest with you.
I'm okay.
I had the first Fozzy Osbourne album, and it was called Fozzy Osbourne.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And he was decent then, but as everyone came along later, they got worse and worse and worse.
So, legitimately, Chris Jericho, for a very long time, was one of my favorite wrestlers. I loved his work in WCW. I went back and saw his ECW stuff. When he debuted in the WWE, I was the biggest Jericho mark you could find. I loved it. I was happy that he was there, and the success that he had that went with it. I was very happy for him. I bought the Fozzy album. I had the Jericho T-shirt, Monday Night Jericho, and Monday Night, or whatever the Nitro was, the Nitro Jericho shirt. I had both of them. I was a huge Jericho guy. When Fozzy came out, I thought it was a terrible album, but I bought it anyways because I wanted to support the artist. That's the Judas was such a huge song, and I don't know how much radio you guys even listen to anymore. I have XM. My wife loves the new metal stuff, right? I think it's Octane. And they play more than just Judas. They play like 3 or 4 Jericho songs. And I'm like, I'll be listening, and I don't really pay too much attention. I like the more 90s style of music. She likes the new metal. And they'll play Jericho, and I'm like, that sounds like Chris Jericho. And she goes, it's Fozzy. Damn. And it's like 3 or 4 songs that they play in heavy rotation on, I think it's Octane. Or I could be wrong. I don't know what station it is. But I don't think he's amazing, but I wouldn't say he's not popular. I think they get a lot of airplay.
I personally would love to see Smashing Pumpkins take on Dr. Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters in an Elimination Chamber.
When I was looking for the May photo, I typed in May, thinking that I might have saved the photo that way. And the first picture that came up when I typed in May was Captain Skeech and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
That's the one.
Yeah. What's that to do with May?
Because that's when the last time I saved the file was in May.
Oh. Did I ever save that file?
No, but I'll put it up here now because you asked for it.
That's why you saved it. It probably meant you're probably going to use it one time for me.
I used it on Twitter saying that they were not performing at the...
Yeah, I remember that now. There's bands, they were definitely not one-hit wonders.
Definitely not. All right. So the whole point of tonight's conversation was actually to talk about who we thought would be the next big thing for the NWA. We kind of already touched on it a little bit, with Vin Parker and Rich Adonis and Tony Leyenda and Genesis Qua. And I'll even go as far to say as Damian Fenrir still has many, many big days ahead of him than he does behind him. I'll go with you first, DKM. Who is somebody that we have seen in an NWA ring recently that you would say, yes, that guy has potential to help carry the brand forward? DK is muted and his picture changed, so I don't know if he's still on.
Sorry.
Oh, he is.
I'm choking to death over here.
Don't do that.
That's a hard question because I really do not know. I mean, I think there's no Thrillbilly.
There's not another Thrillbilly, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, there's no Thrillbilly out there waiting to climb the thing. And so, go to the others and then come back to me. So
okay.
A, I finish choking, and B, I can think of somebody.
Okay, we'll do that.
Go to Rick next.
Well, before we go to Rick, I'll just say Sean Mega's vote. He said Spencer Slade looks legit. Now, I would kind of argue that Slade is maybe already established in the NWA, especially considering he is a World Junior Heavyweight Champion. But I do see a future that Slade could be a future world champion for the NWA. Now I'll go to you, Rick. Who's somebody that is currently you've seen in an NWA ring that you think could be the future of the brand?
They need somebody that's going to be kind of marketable that people are going to want to see. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that connects with the fans. Thrillbilly connected with the fans. Nick Aldis connected with the fans. Trevor Murdoch connected with the fans. I think Richard Adonis could be that guy. I don't think Spencer Slade can connect with those fans necessarily like that. Is he legit? 100% legit? Absolutely. Fantastic worker. But, I think that I think Tony Leander could be a guy like that, and it's not just because he's an East Coast guy. I know, but I think he's just, out of the new faces that we've seen there, him or Richard Adonis, could be very well have something, to bring to the brand. and Damian Finrear as well. Uh, Phenomenal performer as well. I think that in the ring, I think that he could also bring something to the brand. He's been there for a little while now, right? Since what, late last year, earlier this year?
Yeah.
Late last year, right? Yeah. So I mean, I think that all these guys could really bring something special, provided obviously if they are booked the right way, not put in stupid situations, uh, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just treated, built up the correct way, should I say?
If Billy wasn't booking, you're trying to say.
If Billy wasn't booking, yes, I'm trying to be nice. So maybe they should hire.
I'm never nice.
Maybe they should hire one of us. Maybe guess not.
I will take a big paycheck.
I highly
I'll
doubt.
probably get fired quickly though.
I highly doubt that'll happen. From there, so I don't know. I don't know what they pay out. So,
dude, I would do it for free.
I wouldn't. I don't do any work for free.
Exactly. I've done too much work for free. I would do it because, as somebody who I would consider myself an NWA diehard, I feel like even if I did just a little bit of booking for them, I think I can make a better product than what's out currently.
I mean, we've been saying that for a long time. You know what I mean? Even when, like right now, it's a lot better than it was, but there's still some ways to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Matthew Underwood shouts out Dalton McKenzie. We haven't seen enough of him in a while. I did like Dalton McKenzie. We saw him at last year's Crockett Cup teaming with
Jack Long.
Who? Yeah,
Jack Long.
Yes. I couldn't think of his name. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought he was great. I was like, wow, this guy's really, really good. And obviously, I think he kind of reminded me of a younger Steiner brother. So it's like that would have been perfect. And then Matthew Underwood also called out Fenrir last March in his debut tag match with Casanova. Casanova was another guy I thought could have done something good for a while. By the way, Sean Mega said that he would like to see you be the booker, Jaden, for the NWA.
Well, convince some Billy to pay me.
Pay me, sucker.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll get fired quickly. I know for a fact, but at least I'll do it and get a couple paychecks out of it. And for like at least a TV taping, it'll probably look good. For me, I'm going to do a double cheat. First, I'm going to do a match somebody that's like younger, but I'm going to do somebody who's currently there that I don't think has hit his potential yet. So for younger, I do think Fenrir is the future of the NWA. I see him as maybe a national or a television champion, maybe even a junior heavyweight champion. And I could see with a good partner, he could be a tag team champion, either US. So I could see, I don't know about world champion yet, but it's at least I could see him having every other championship there, minus the women's. So I think he has a potential for that.
Yeah, it's the NWA. I don't know. So
yeah. So. And my cheat one is going to be AJ Kazana.
Dude, that's a great choice. You know,
as a singles wrestler, yeah,
that's actually a good choice. I think that he could really go very far as a singles wrestler and a major player. I mean, he's been a major player for the brand in for the last 2-3 years, maybe longer.
So, I would say even longer because he won the U.S. tag titles with not Aaron Andrews.
I keep forgetting the guy's name, but that was
Eric Andrews.
Eric Andrews. They won the tag.
Why am I remembering this stuff?
No, I don't think you're right. I think it might be Aaron Andrews, but
Eric Andrews.
Wasn't it the reporter who Brett Favre hit on? Aaron Andrews.
But anyway, yeah, I do think if he was giving a singles run from
Anthony Andrews.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All those Andrews look alike. Julie Andrews.
All right.
But yeah, I think if he was given a good singles run first with the TV, then the national, and then the world heavyweight title, I could see him be built up as a big thing in the NWA and one of their bigger stars that they could rely on for not just the current but the future.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear my interview with AJ Kazana?
I did.
I listened to some of it while I was at work. So some, but I will sit down and listen to it all. It's just, unfortunately, it's so rude that while I'm trying to listen to things at work, people come in and want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
I hear you. Oh, you got it. Matt Underwood got it too. I think I second the love from Damian Fenner. We did have him on the pre-party this week. I thought he is still young. I think he's only been in the business for about 6 years, maybe 7 years. And I know that for some people, like, well, that's pretty established. But, I think you're really just getting into it. And I can't tell you how old he is, but I still think he's a pretty young gun. And which means
what, young, late 20s, early 30s, probably, right?
Not I would
30, maybe.
I would say probably mid to late 20s. And the fact that he even kind of said it in the interview that he is not necessarily looking for what's next. He wants to bring the NWA up. He wants to elevate it up, which I think that's what you want from somebody who is signed, who has a lot of potential. And, what the NWA is going to have to do is they're going to have to build up their own guys. And I think that's why the territory system is such a good tool for them. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why aren't we getting more territory matches? And why aren't we seeing the territory titles defended on Power? It's like, that's not what it's for. It's literally a scouting program to see who's good and who's next.
It could be one of those things on occasion if they're doing a taping in that town and one of those titles is on, you know what I mean? Just like the old school, or maybe one of them comes to Florida, you know what I mean? Is flown into Florida for a particular set of tapings. It's stuff like that. I would like to see, that's one of the things I was going to bring up, like who in any of the territories is available to be the next big star, who there is like really big, you know what I'm saying? I don't know all the territories. I'm sorry, Derby City, Joe Kazana Promotions, right? And Crossfire. I know there's more, right? Texas. So I mean, there's a bunch of different.
WLW.
Who is it? Oh,
WLW too.
WLW. Yeah, that one I do watch. But like, who out of any of these, like they should really look in there and see who they should be bringing in onto the main roster and who could be the next star for the NWA out of all those guys. So out of the territories, excuse me.
But the problem with the territories is they also bring in like the JACs and the skinny hunter kid who looks like he's got type 1 diabetes or something like that. Just like he's,
Oh, the kid that was on a couple weeks ago, I think, right? He looked like a pencil.
The one that made fun of Jack Vaughn, and Jack Vaughn made a little comment about it.
The one that makes me sad.
Yes.
And he still makes me sad. Here's the thing. When you're looking at these people, there are certain things that have to be considered. And one of the things you consider is someone who's going to carry the NWA. That means somebody basically who's going to have to be believable as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And so, nothing against some of the people that have been named, but they weigh 180 pounds.
Who weighs 180 pounds?
Not me. That's for damn sure.
I'm trying to weigh 180 pounds.
I want to. I wish I did. But anyway, so, and some of them are young and they have the potential to do that. And I have to go. But the point is, they need to be a big person.
That's fair. Look,
that's where AJ comes in. He's a big guy.
Yeah, like look, I believe in AJ Kazana. I think he definitely has the tools to be a world's heavyweight champion. He has the tools to be a rival with Silas Mason. I think to me AJ Kazana is more believable than Brian Idol, more believable than Carson Drake. I really think that they're, sticking to the original question, looking at the NWA as it is now, who on the roster could be the next big thing? I do think that AJ Kazana has a lot more ahead of him than behind him. I think there's a lot of opportunity for that guy. If we're looking
too. So
yeah, and he, he takes a back seat because the Country Gentleman is led by his father, Joe Kazana. Joe Kazana does 90% of the speaking for the Country Gentleman, but it doesn't have to be that way. AJ could be a talker on his own. He doesn't need his pops for that. But I think he's got a ton of upside, and I don't think we've seen the best AJ that exists. With that being said, if we're looking to the future, I mean, gosh, there's a lot of good talent in, Camaro Jackson and WLW, Raheem Suede, but these guys would be closer to junior heavyweights. They're not big like DKM said. You look at NWA New Mexico, was it Pretty City Express? Great tag team. I think that they would be an excellent addition to the roster, but I don't know that they carry the brand forward. I don't think they are game changer talents. Damian Fenrir, I think he's really, really good. I see a ton of potential in him. I don't know if he's a game changer talent. I don't know if the NWA has a game changer talent. And AJ Kazana could be that next level guy, but some would already argue he's there. So he wouldn't be that guy. So it's hard, and again, I think there's way too much territories for everyone to know everything what's going on with the territory system. But Luthez says, in general, the business has a size problem these days. And I agree with that. King Sean Mega says Carson Drake era will begin in 2 weeks.
Sorry, repeat that.
Sean Mega says that the Carson Drake era will begin in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I think he means closer to 3 weeks when we're all in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's about 2.
Damn, I need to book a hotel and car. Shit. All right, guys, gotta go. See you later. No, but yeah, in about 2 weeks, Carson Drake is supposed to challenge Thrillbilly Silas Mason. The one thing that we haven't seen a lot with the NWA, and this is kind of a beef that I have with them, is that whenever the world champion loses the title, they kind of slip out of the title picture. We're seeing that right now with, Tom Latimer hasn't really been in the title picture since he lost to Silas Mason.
He got multiple rematches. One of them he couldn't even work at.
Yeah. Matthew Underwood says, aren't we getting a third man in that match? We might, Matt, but nothing official has been announced yet. And the way that they did it is Carson Drake is demanding that he get his title shot, but they haven't announced who he's facing yet. So I don't know, to be quite honest with you. But if Carson Drake were to win the world title, I won't lose any sleep over it. I just hope that Silas Mason isn't removed from the title picture like we've seen, like when Nick Aldis lost to Trevor Murdoch, he was kind of pushed to the side, whether that was his choice or the office's choice. That's what happened. And yes, he did get an eventual opportunity to wrestle for the title later when Cardona was champion, and again when Cardona got hurt and they were crowning a new champion, but he wasn't made a priority. EC3, when he finally lost the title, he kind of went to a tag team, right? He was kind of being pushed as a tag team with him and PB Smooth. So that kind of, again, took the world champion out of the picture. And for the most part, Tom Latimer has been out of the title picture. For the most part, Trevor Murdoch has been out of the world title picture. We haven't seen a lot of former champions kind of come back and get an opportunity to wrestle for that gold on a regular basis. So, if Carson Drake were to win the title, I don't have a problem with that. But I better be seeing Silas Mason being one of the top contenders and eventual champions going forward. I'm okay with a 2-time champion or a 3-time champion or a 4-time champion if it makes sense booking-wise and it helps get somebody else over and it makes the story interesting. I don't want a hot potato, just a hot potato. But I think, a title switch, if done the right way, could be beneficial to the NWA.
Well, I'm thinking of it. Luke says, it was the Cosmic Cow a too close for comfort reference? I know he was talking about. Oh, speaking of that, not genocide, Genesee Qua, that was the Voodoo Queen,
yes.
right? I seen a picture with her without her makeup. She's your type.
I think I know that. I haven't seen her without her makeup. I've only seen her in gear, but I would like to have her come on the pre-party.
Pre-party.
We'll see, especially once they start announcing for the reality show. I bet Tuesdays I might get a couple of the guests who end up trying to become a part of the NWA roster. But yeah, I based on appearance alone, I think Je ne sais quoi has a very unique look that would be good for the NWA. Her in-ring I don't think it was bad. They put her in a world title match on her debut. I don't think that was the best use of her. But again, she was there as part of the new faces that they were bringing in to kind of help set these TV tapings separate from the signature live events. And I think long term, if we see some of these faces more and more, I think there's a lot of potential there that we've seen going back to our conversation earlier. And Luthez said yes.
Yes, okay. I understood that reference. There's something about Je ne sais quoi. I just don't know what it is.
You can't put your finger on it. It'd be illegal if you did.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think it's getting time to end the show. When the references start getting a little too loose and wild, I think it's maybe time to head to the showers. Anyways, great conversation, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us today in the chat, both on all the platforms.
What was the pizza? What the fans say about the pizza is we're going to say no to pineapple.
Nobody else
Just
sounded off afterwards. No
to pineapple.
Real quick, because Noob asked for it, and Noob doesn't ask for much. So let's give it to him. He wants to know our thoughts about King Trevor Murdoch. Do you guys feel that the character's out of place? Now, obviously,
get out of here with that crap.
He's paying.
He's trying to be Harley Race.
I understand that. I understand it's like a tribute thing, but it's just this is something the NWA has to do something so kind of ridiculous sometimes. Call me crazy, but I don't know. I just think it's
okay, crazy.
I just think it's kind of corny in a way. I love Harley Race. I love the King Harley Race gimmick, but they always do these retro type callbacks in a way.
Well, and keep in mind, Harley Race was a multi-time NWA World Champion before coming to the WWE.
100%, yes.
They were never going to take the title off of Hogan to put it on Harley Race. So Vince wanted a way to celebrate him without saying, oh, he was a multi-time NWA World Champion. So they called him the King. Because
King of Wrestling, yes.
Yeah. And it was to be quite honest, I mean, it was a gimmick that was meant to honor Harley Race. But, and again, I don't want to disrespect Trevor Murdoch here, but Trevor Murdoch is not Harley Race. Trevor Murdoch would love to be Harley Race. And Harley Race is someone that all the pro wrestlers should aspire to be like. But Trevor Murdoch is a two-time NWA World Champion, a one-time NWA Tag Team Champion, a national champion. He won the Crockett Cup. These are all great accolades. But I wouldn't call him the king of wrestling.
No.
And Noob said he's not a fan of a fake retirement. I don't think it was a fake retirement. I think they talked him out of it. I think they're saying, okay, go ahead.
You really think that?
I think he retired.
I think he was ready to quit, and I think he was the depression, the emotions, the inadequacy, the feeling that he wasn't there got to him, and it depression and stuff like that. And I think people talked him up and made him realize how good he is. And then they talked him back in. There are wrestlers who are older who have that feeling. I've had to deal with a couple of them that don't think that they get a certain age and they just don't have anything to add to it. And then they think that they're taking up space and that they're the old man that takes up space or whatever. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes they just have more to offer. It's just they're letting their own insecurities get the best of them. And I think that's what happened.
I also think this too, like when you had Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch as a tag team, right? I think this was an interesting way to go because Trevor only had to work half the match, right? He didn't have to go the full speed match. He didn't have to go have a Broadway with somebody, and they came in as ass kickers, right? They weren't there to have a
They were a
scientific
great
wrestling
team.
match.
They were
They
a
were there to
really
beat
good team, I
people up,
thought. Yeah.
and I
That
feel
was
like
during a rough time of for the NWA. That was one of the shining moments. Every time they came out, you know what I mean. During one of the worst periods, they were one of the best things about that product.
And when Knox got hurt, they didn't know what to do with Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I said it early, and it didn't happen. But like, we mentioned AJ Kazan a couple times. I think AJ and Trevor would have been an interesting tag team, and let KC go figure things out. Having Trevor work with somebody like having him work with Trevor Murdoch night in and night out, which isn't night in and night out, but every match you have with somebody like Trevor Murdoch is going to make you a better wrestler. And but that's not the direction they went. They're trying to figure out what to do with Trevor, and they're putting him in a meaningless feud with Pretty Boy Smooth, which again, Pretty Boy Smooth could be a future player for the NWA, but right now he's a former tag team wrestler that hasn't had a lot of traction on the main roster, and now Trevor Murdoch is doing the JOB to Pretty Boy Smooth, which that's got to be a bruise to the ego for sure. Trevor Murdoch is a 2-time world champion. He's a tag team champion. He won the Crockett Cup, and now he's putting over Pretty Boy Smooth. If I'm putting myself into Trevor, if I'm putting myself in Trevor
guys, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if I put myself in Trevor Murdoch's shoes, maybe I would prefer to retire and save some face than to be in the job guy to the next big thing. You go ahead.
A lot of guys on their way down, that's what they do is they put over the younger new talent. You know what I mean? At the end, that people are trying to get over. It happened everywhere. WWE, NWA. Now it's happening in the NWA. So
sure.
I mean, the current NWA. Excuse me. But you know what I'm saying? And I understand it. I mean, maybe he should be there I mean, he's too big compared to most of the roster to be doing jobs. You know.
But that's my point. I think ego-wise, maybe he didn't see himself there, and he's like, well, if this is what you think of me, then I'd rather be at home with my wife and kid, as opposed to you putting over your guys, because I don't believe in them yet, because I don't think I'm done. But if you think I'm done, if I'm here to put people over, I'd rather be at home. I see that mentality. Okay. And if they were able to convince him, like, hey man, we still see value in you, but we didn't know what to do with you, so we're just using some of your overness to get somebody else over, I could see that. And they're continuing the storyline with Pretty Boy Smooth now with Hayden Backlund and what was his manager's name?
CeeLo?
Sure, we'll say CeeLo.
CeeLo Green or Dr. CeeLo or something like
Pastor
that.
CeeLo. And they're feuding with the King's Court, which is Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox and Tyler or something or other. Anyways, I see it. I see, like, okay, we're going to bring you back, and you're right. You're not here to just job people, to put people over and job out. We're going to create an interesting storyline for you. And Mike Knox is cleared to wrestle now. Maybe they'll continue going back to that tag team. And I think, watching those two with AJ and KC, I think would be a lot of fun down the road too. All right. We're going to now turn the show over to Jaden, who will be talking to us about the next big event happening in New Jersey for the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. It's your floor, Jaden. Speak.
It's not one event. It's not two events. It's not three events. It's not four events. It's 5 days of events for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators as Dog presents the Dog Days of Summer 2, which I can't tell you why the old nickname we were going to add to it can't be added anymore. I just found out something bad about it. So the Dog Days of, the pair, I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators presents Dog Days of Summer 2 at the Monmouth County Fair. That's at 1500 Kozlowski Road in Freehold, New Jersey. You get to see the stars of Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, including the gifted Gab herself, Gabby Ortiz, that strong, powerful Latina baddie, Jay's favorite woman wrestler. You also get to see former Impact Wrestling superstar Falaba. You get to see the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Tag Team Champions, Gabriel Hodder and Matthew Omen. Primal Fear. The World Wrestling Grand Prix Championship will be on the line with David Goldie defending that WWGP Coveted Championship. Speaking of the WWGP Championship, former WWGP champion Biggie Biggs will be in action. And of course, the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators heavyweight champion Vinny the Fixer will once again try to continue his dominance in dog at the Monmouth County Fair. It's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 5 straight days of professional wrestling, mini matches throughout the entire day. You could also enjoy the entire fair. There's going to be live bands, including a Queen tribute band is going to be performing. There's going to be amusement park rides, food, vendors. There's going to be a 84-year-old juggling guy called Himby, the German Juggle Boy, who will be riding a unicycle and juggling things on fire.
Wait. What day is that going to be? Because I want to make sure I'm there for that.
Last time I was there, he was there like 4 out of the 5 days. So
hoping I'll be there for it.
But yeah, Himby, the German Juggle Boy, who will be juggling things on a unicycle and while flaming things on a unicycle. And he actually did a promo one time. I'll have to bring it on next time we're on, so you could put it on here when he actually hyped us in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. But it is on the dog YouTube and the dog Instagram and the dog TikTok if you want to check it out. He gave us our props. But he's going to be part of it. There's going to be all kinds of really cool things. There's a dinosaur exhibit, a touch a truck, where all kinds of cool trucks out there. There is, again, amusement rides. There is a funnel cake that hopefully will not be I'll be wearing in my face and all over my body and hair and hat and shoes this time. So there'll be a lot of great things. And of course, Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators action. If anybody's coming to the NWA on the 25th, they should come up either early or stay a little later and check out Dog Pro Wrestling on their way home or before they get there, and check out all the great stars at Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators before they go check out the NWA. And again, 5 days pro wrestling.
All right.
Oh, and there's pig racing. And no, that has nothing to do with Daredevil Dave Dahl. But there's cute little piggies doing racing through a little track, including a little swimming part where they swim through.
All right, here we go. I think I found it. Bear with me. I'm trying. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe we should go full screen on here. Maybe I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay. And nope. Just play, damn it.
This is the skinny German Juggle Boy, and you're here to watch Dog Pro Wrestling. In a world, there was no fear. There was only us and our naked, slimy bodies slamming into each other.
Well,
there's more to it, I think. I think you cut it off early, but... Yeah. But he's a Dog Pro Wrestling fan. He actually watched us multiple times throughout the event, too.
Well.
When he wasn't juggling fire on his unicycle.
What he said, I don't think we can replay on here.
He's interesting. It's fun to watch. He's apparently been doing it for like 20, 30, 40 years.
Wow.
The festival's over 50 years old.
Well, again, I plan to be there at least on Sunday. 100% I'll be there on Sunday. I might try to get in on Friday. My flight lands I think 5. So we'll see what we can do. But I definitely I'd love to go and catch out some check out some Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. You gotta get me some match listings so I know what to expect.
I don't know. Doctors are going to put something together, I'm sure.
All right, sounds good.
I know they're definitely trying to get Gabby Ortiz for Sunday.
That would be
okay.
That'd be fun.
I know they're trying, but we'll figure it out when it happens.
All right. Well, hey, for DKM. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. I want you to plug your things too. What do you got coming up?
How I'm treated on this show. Jesus.
I didn't hang up yet. I didn't end the stream.
Nothing really. I did an interview with Greg Evans, the other half of the Ding Dongs from WCW. And it was a fun conversation, and there's a great story. If you like old school wrestling, you get to talk about the territories and his time in Deep South Wrestling. We talk about Jody Hamilton, the Assassin, and a lot of great talents that he got the chance to work at and over there. And
including the Great Muda too, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, he had a great story about the Great Muda, and who he ran into him recently or last year at the gathering. I think it was he was a part of, and they were there as well. I remember them being there as well. I think next week I have former WWF enhancement talent Gino Carabello from the earlier part of the 1980s. Great guy. That will be out next week sometime. And August 7th, Alley Fights returns, 662 Co Avenue. That's our next event, our next show. So, event. Let me just, geez, man, making me small and all that stuff. Anyway, so August 7th, 662 Co Avenue, East Haven is the next Alley Fights, August 7th. And they've been getting better and better and better. And yes, we will have air conditioning this next event. That is key. The air conditioning failed us the last show, and I thought we were all going to die, but it should not this time. So, and that's it.
That's great. My last thing before we go is, of course, if you've been tuning into the pre-party that happens every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, you'll see me. This week, I get to talk to the United States Presidents of America Tag Team Champions, the Slimeballs. They'll be joining me. I'm pretty sure that Rick won't be joining us on that episode, but
who knows? I'll be in the chat. Maybe I'll make some jokes.
Crack some wines. Hopefully it'll be big on Reddit. That's what I'm hoping for. But I do want to shout out Poil Damar and the NWA office for helping make these interviews happen. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And then
are you going to be interviewing Biggie Biggs soon too, if I'm not mistaken?
We don't have a date yet, but we definitely will be speaking to Biggie Biggs very, very soon. We just got to finalize the date before the fair starts, because it'd be great to talk to Biggie again. He's been on the show a couple times in the past, so look for that very, very soon. And then I got some great news that I can't share just yet, but I feel like Championship Wrestling is going to get a heck of a lot closer to me, so that's good news. And other than that, I'm excited to head out to Philly for the 78th anniversary show, and I also get to see some Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. I'm excited for both of those multiple events, and I'm very excited about that. So for DKM, for Jaden, for the Professor Rick Del Santo, I am J Cal. We are the Alliance Guys, and we will see you at the matches. Good night.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.